Nesri steered away to safety. Was there Nesri flirting with that offside line, but Salahuddin looking for the dangerous striker, now Turkish-based.
It's difficult to see from that angle if it was an offside or not.
He's certainly right on the line. The assistant referee has been accurate throughout this tournament, though. Calls it as a corner. Final minutes here. Opportunity to feed, back post, steered away by Diouf. Kept alive though. Tarkhalin. Hakimi. Salahuddin wanted it. El Yamik finds El Ainoui. Now Brahim Diaz turns on a moment of magic, but that's a little too heavy. 3 minutes of added time remain.
I wonder what Diaz is complaining for.
I think he's feeling there was a touch that saw it fly over. Well, this is the earlier attempt.
Well struck, really.
Ooh, he was calling for the penalty appeal. Penalty.
I think he was calling for that.
That's going to be looked at, I'm sure. Brahim Diaz, meanwhile, is making noise. The referee has not allowed play to get back underway, so I think it is being checked.
Okay, that's what Diaz was angry about, because I didn't see anything wrong with that.
I think you're right. I was trying to figure out what he was upset about.
Yeah.
But that replay...
Now, this could be a turning point in this game, Dwayne.
Very much so. Now, look at the incident again.
Oh,
Diouf,
ooh.
arm around the neck, and the referee will go have a look. We are going to see a penalty check. We are 90 seconds away from full time. Brahim Diaz has been tugged off the ball, but does the referee believe that this was a foul? I am finding it very difficult to argue against that being considered anything but.
Me neither, because it looks like there's a tug just behind the neck, over the shoulder.
Well, a man who could do no wrong in the semi-final, El Hadji Malik Diouf, might just have given Morocco an opportunity to claim it late on here. Referee still at the monitor. Behind him is all sorts of chaos and drama. Two technical teams coming together as he looks at the replay again and again. He's made his decision. This could define history. Penalty! Robert roars! And to be fair, I don't think that's the wrong call. I think the referee's got this right.
Neither do I. You could see the hand, the tug on the neck, over the neck and over the shoulder. There was a push, there was a pull away that obstructed and that stopped the player from going to the ball.
Senegal in danger of closing out a fourth successive final without scoring a goal at the Africa Cup of Nations. The only other team who's done that was Côte d'Ivoire, but they played in a fifth final in which they scored, and that was just 2 years ago. Yellow card coming out for Ismail Assar, who protests vehemently. But imagine the pressure now on the penalty taker.
Tell me about it.
I mean, you have got the weight of 50 years on your back when you step up.
Well, there's no rush when at such moments. I think if you've got a penalty that's been given to you, what's attributed to your team, all you have to do is is be patient, be calm. In fact, I don't see any reason why the Moroccan players are already in the box.
So Diouf has been cautioned now, and this is the moment that might very well have decided this final in this tournament. There are multiple discussions between players who know one another rather well. There are scuffles in the crowd, and security is needing to deal with an issue on the opposite end of the park. In the meantime, Bonu has had to come out of his goal with a little chaos behind him, but the players discussing a moment that might prove pivotal.
This is actually not good for the penalty taker, and this is also not good for the image of this competition so far, because it's been a...
So play will get back underway. From a penalty to Morocco, Edouard Mendy is still shaking his head. A man who's playing as part of a Senegal squad in the final again, having won it in 2021. He wasn't part of the team in 2019 in the final because he broke his finger earlier in the tournament, Edouard Mendy. Pape Thiaw, meanwhile, is appealing for a little calm. He and Regragui come together. There are some heated discussions, shall we say. But these are two coaches who have led their respective teams to remarkable success. Regragui has transformed Moroccan football, and he has a chance to claim his crowning glory here. Meanwhile, it seems the players are being called off the park.
I think they should be very careful here, because in such situations you could get sanctions that you might live to regret. These are moments where one has to be calm, and as players or as managers, you should not provoke or create or make the situation even worse.
There is an incident in the periphery. It is seemingly seen as a security concern, and the players are being asked to leave the pitch. There are still heated words being exchanged. There is much indecision. Achraf Hakimi, meanwhile, is over trying to separate players and coaches, showing that calm heads can prevail. But where we have come to, well, the Moroccan fans can't wait for this moment, but it might be a while yet before it happens. The players are not on the park at the moment, bar a few in and around the penalty area from Morocco. The referee waits, it seems, for indication from the general coordinator as to how this match might progress.
Well, the rule says now the referee is no longer in his hands. He has to now wait.
This is the moment again.
Yeah. Now let's look at this. There is a pull. Yeah, of course, you cannot deny that there's a contact there. There's a pull there.
Well, the indication is, would that be a foul outside the 18-yard area? I would suggest a good 99 out of 100 times it's going to be called a foul, and if it's a foul in the penalty area, it is a penalty. That is what the referee has decided, a penalty with only a handful of seconds remaining in added time. There are about 90 seconds remaining in added time, to be fair. So it's not quite the last kick of the game, but it does provide Morocco with an opportunity to finish it up from the penalty mark, potentially. Now, earlier, Senegal had the ball in the back of the net, and it was disallowed because of the contact that Seck made on Hakimi.
Yes. And you can see the outstretched arm that got Hakimi off the way. And in this other action here too, you can also see the outstretched arm of the Senegalese player also pulling the Moroccan player down. So now the question is it decisive enough to have stopped, to have impeded the progression of the player? That is for the referee to decide, and that's why he went to the VAR to check that out.
Well, the respective coaches are on the field of play for now. Regragui and Cho, they're making their way off. The referee is ushering them to the sideline, and they look to be an embrace between Hakimi and Cho. And now Hakimi is looking to keep Regragui away from Cho as they come towards the centre line. Again, Hakimi is looking to try to prove peacemaker, it seems.
The managers have to stay calm. The managers have to keep the players calm.
Well, from a Senegal perspective, the players might feel aggrieved in the sense that they had the ball in the back of the net, it was disallowed, and then they had the clearance. It's been overturned and called as a penalty. You can understand where frustration might build from, but I don't believe the decisions were incorrect. I believe they were spot on.
Neither do I, and that's the advantage we have today of the VAR. It is not as if there was nothing, there was no contact at all.
Now the players are again being called from the park. Senegal are marching off. They're going into the tunnel.
Now that is something I wouldn't advise them to do. Against the directives of the referee. That is something, if they have to go to the tunnel, it has to be a decision that the officials have to take.
This is also not how you want to see an Afcon career potentially end. Sadio Mane stays, a chance to a man who's coached at this tournament more than any other, Claude Leroy.
No, this is a shame, because it's been a wonderful tournament and we don't need it to end like this.
Mane in discussions with senior executives. The remainder of his teammates, bar a few, are in the change room already. The Moroccan players are out on the pitch. Sadio Mane, there are appeals for Sadio Mane to keep Senegal on the park, I suspect. And he's calling his players back. He's calling his teammates back.
Well, I will strongly advise caution here, because this is not going to help because of the Senegalese. And furthermore, the penalty has not been scored yet. So you don't know what could happen now.
Edouard Mendy is a great penalty shot stopper. He's a phenomenal goalkeeper. That's Sadio Mane, the man who's got 20 goal contributions across 29 starts at an Africa Cup of Nations, 11 goals, 9 assists, and a man who has started more Africa Cup of Nations games than any other. Pape Thiaw is telling his players to get back onto the park.
Oh, Sadio Mane started. Sadio Mane asked the players to come back onto the pitch.
And that's leadership.
That's leadership, and not... Sometimes you don't necessarily have to wear the captain's band to be a leader, and that's what he's shown here.
Credit, though, to Gana Gueye, to Ismail Assar, and to Abdoulaye Seck. They've remained on this park. They have not left.
Well, this is why Sadio Mane is loved worldwide, because of intelligence and the ability to stay calm. He's a man who's been through a lot of challenges in his playing career.
Well, he's a man that just continues to remind us of all the incredible things that you can do when you have success. Al-Hadj Diouf, a word to Sadio Mane. Al-Hadj Diouf, the first Senegalese player to win African Footballer of the Year. Yeah. Sadio Mane has since won it twice. But this is a man who continues to prove as well, and I think he's going to go and fetch his teammates from the change room.
Yeah, that is.
He continues to inspire, and he continues to remind us that value doesn't lie in titles, it doesn't lie in money, it doesn't lie in applause, it lies in the courage to rise from the humblest beginnings and carry as many people along with you on your way up.
No, I think Sadio Mane is a hero. He's an example that people should can imitate. Now, when you see a player like this go, like the teammates are coming back onto the pitch now, if the referee blows the penalty, the rule says you have to respect the decisions of the referee. Furthermore, the penalty has not been scored yet.
You can understand the frustration, but it is certainly not something you want to see. When we expected drama in a final, we did not expect this kind of drama. This is a chance for Africa to shine, and maybe a little gloss off the evening. Sure, we'll watch on.
They should stay calm now.
It looks like Edouard Mendy has been cautioned here for his little cynical bump on Anas Salahedin. So a yellow card for Edouard Mendy. Well, and a yellow card for Salahedin as well. Now, I don't want to make a tongue-in-cheek comment here about potential extra time, but we've nearly seen 120 minutes go by. We're just into the 112th minute now.
Well, what the referee will just go back to, that's why you have the fourth referee there. They'll go back to the minutes that were left, the time that was left, before the game was stopped. And based on that, that's what it's going to do now.
Now, En-Nesyri and Brahim Diaz are having a conversation. En-Nesyri, with a chance to become the only Moroccan player to score in 5 Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, has handed the ball to the tournament's leading scorer, Brahim Diaz, who lines up. Brahim Diaz, who scored in 5 successive matches to start. Against Comoros, against Mali, against Zambia, against Tanzania, and against Cameroon in succession. Brahim Diaz, tournament's leading scorer with 5, up against Edouard Mendy, the focused man from Real Madrid, up against Al Ahly goalkeeper Edouard Mendy, a Champions League winner in Europe and in Asia, and a winner of Afcon in 2021 edition. Edouard Mendy is just signalling something to the referee, and Sadio Mane has come over to have a discussion. There seems to be something going on. Brahim Diaz remains focused as ever. Mendy backtracks. Brahim Diaz replaces the ball. And now, perhaps, the final to get underway again. Brahim Diaz to give Morocco the lead. Chips Panenka down the middle, and humiliatingly, Mendy saves it. Stays on his line, the opportunity gone, and maybe now we are going to go to extra time. Robert roars and erupts, but for a very different reason than the one they considered they might.
Now this is how do you explain this? At such a moment, this is not a time to try to play Panenka.
He looks crestfallen. Brahim Diaz, who's proven nothing but heroic throughout this tournament and throughout qualifying.
Well, at the crisis, at the moment of crisis, at the dawning hour, Brahim Diaz